Hey guys, Dave with Moniology here. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. This is the uranium sector review for June 2nd, 2019. What you'll see in this video is that uranium is definitely bottoming, and I'm going to show you on multiple time frames what that looks like, and then I'm going to follow it with our various sector names that we follow and give you a better sense of what's taking place in the markets and hopefully some good opportunities that you can make some money on. So let's take a look. Okay, ALX, well, before we go into the specific names, I want to show you the URA sector ETF. Obviously not a pure play and very much Cameco heavy, but nonetheless, this is what I've got to chart, and it definitely gives you a pretty good understanding of the sentiment in the space. So you have the hourly here, and this is the short-term ETF probably over the last 2 months, and notice that momentum today is higher than any point in the last 2 months. That's extremely important, and this suggests that the move, the pullback is largely over. Here's the daily. We had multiple inflection points, basically a double bottom here, and with positive divergence. And notice it's kind of like an inverse head and shoulders, where here's the head, here are the two shoulders, and now it's breaking out after back testing multiple times of this downtrend since early May, and now it's breaking out. If I extend this line, it looks like RSI is now above the downtrend breakdown that we had over the last month. So that's very good news. And then here on the weekly perspective, this is still in a downtrend, right? But every single time that we hit that 1150 area, 1150, we seem to rally, and that's very important. And equally as important for me, we've closed above that 38 level of RSI. That's very important. That's an area that we found support multiple times, and again, in my analysis, you'll find the 38 level as well as the 61 level are very important levels in momentum support and resistance. So to the individual names in alphabetical order, ALX Uranium, this one's just consolidating here, 3-4 weeks of consistent hammer pattern. So there's support below 5 cents. So not a bad entry zone. It breaks a rally to 10 cents is a 100% move. If it breaks that, then that's a lot of blue sky ahead. But definitely like the pattern here. You've got PPO starting to curl towards 0, so that's positive. Anfield Energy is finding support every single time on this trend line here, even as the price is kind of consolidating. That's positive. And at some point it's going to break higher and make a run towards that 48 cent level and possibly higher. API.CA Energy, this one's been mentioned in also the rare earth metal. It seems like they've got some properties that have some rare earth minerals, which is great. This one's kind of cup and handle here, and here's the bull flag handle. If it can break above that 38 cent level, and certainly for me 41 cent level, that's your signal to go long API.CA, but a very interesting name with some very high quality, seems like, resources. Azincourt Uranium, another one that's in this downtrend, but it's building a double bottom here with positive divergence, and it looks like it's setting up now that it back tested that 38 level. It looks like it wants to break that 50 level soon, and so that's probably going to correspond with a break above 7 cents, and that's your trigger to go long. But there's a lot of upside here in this particular name if it breaks above this 7 cent zone. Blue Sky Uranium, they've just they broke out here, and then they back tested, and they back tested in large part because they use this opportunity to raise some capital. This is what often happens when a company breaks out. Management takes this opportunity to raise capital that they're going to need to get this to $1, if you will, because they believe in the upside of their resource. So long as this particular backtest holds, that's a very bullish and positive development. Again, 38 RSI level held so far, and we like this. We've been adding around this level here. Cameco obviously has pulled back considerably, as you saw in the URA, but again, this is a level here that has found support in times past. This was the level where it broke out from, and now momentum is finding support here. So if it can rally around this 10 cent level, this can be a very good long entry point. Canalaska Uranium, This has been one of the weakest charts of the uranium space, but it's found support at this past level of rally, if you will. So last time we rallied around this level, now RSI is finding support here, and now it's trying to make a run and make a break back above the 38 cent level, 38 RSI level. So if it can break above 25 cents here, then that can be a very nice beginning to move that can take it towards 45 cents or possibly higher. DPLO, another one that's just been struggling for a while. There's not much to see here from a technical standpoint unless you can break back above that 27th level. Momentum is weak, and I don't like what I'm seeing. It probably finds support right around here at that 30 level of RSI, which corresponds to the last real breakout and consolidation zone. So you might see a flush out here to 18-20 cents and then potentially a rally, but don't like it at this point. Denison Mines, it's consolidating below 50, is very positive. Consolidating below the 50-week moving average, again, positive signs that this one wants to make a run back towards that 70 cent level. Encore Energy, this one seems to get hit every single time it hits this downtrend line in momentum. It needs to break above it. It's finding support at the 50 level, but it's just struggling here. What I like about this is you've got price that's supported by a 50-week and 200-week moving averages here right below it. Every time it hits it, it seems to rally. It needs to break back above 15 cents for a sustained run towards 20 and I think much higher. Energy Fuels, one of the larger names in the space. This one, a couple folks asked me what my thoughts were on it. I think it's a really constructive entry here. It's bounced very, very nicely off of support at that 250 level, and it's back tested this momentum breakout, and now it wants to move higher. This is a great entry. I think this eventually breaks 350 this year and goes much higher. I see this in double digits in a renewed uranium resurgence. A couple of other names that are really not uranium, but they're kind of related. So first vanadium here, for those of you who are interested, it's got interesting fundamentals. It broke out of its downtrend. Now it's consolidating and back testing, if you will. Right now there's really a lot of technical weakness. I don't see any real signs of positive divergence, but if this can break back above the 40 cent level and above this downtrend, there could be some really nice moves to the upside. Fission 3.0, one of our largest positions. It is a very speculative play, but they're drilling and they've got some great partnerships in the Athabasca region, and we like the upside here. I mean, if they strike gold, if you will, and this can really run dramatically. So and it's finding support around that 38 level, which is support in times past, and it needs to break back above that 10 cent level to get some technical mojo back. First Uranium, one that's kind of creating an inverse head and shoulders here, but it needs to hold that 38 RSI. It needs to hold that 47 cents level here on a weekly close, and it needs to keep that PPO back above zero for it to rally. Forces Metals, one that we own as well. I mean, we own a lot of these names, and you've seen our posts on Twitter, so I'm not going to go through our ownership at this point, but bottom line is it's consolidating here. It broke above this bullish wedge now, and it's consolidating below the 50 RSI level. It's obviously very noisy. It needs to break above 28 cents to really take off. It needs to hold that support zone around that 16 to 18 cent level, otherwise it's going to move lower. But I think that there's more opportunity to the upside here, but there is a lot of resistance here. So unless you're a contrarian and you're buying based on fundamentals, there isn't a technical play unless it breaks 28 cents. Forum Energy Metals, this one is a really nice breakout on very high volume, and this is what I like to see. I like to see a consolidation. Obviously, if you bought here expecting it to go here, watching it at 5 cents is kind of painful. However, this is what you want to see. You want to see it consolidating above a moving average, and so around 5 to 6 cents, this is a great entry point. I think this goes much higher. Global Atomic, one of the better names fundamentally and technically in the uranium sector. This has been consolidating around that 46 level, and I've said once it breaks out 46, this is your entry long, and sure enough, last week it did that. and this one looks like it wants to go much higher. The next resistance level will be that 59.60 cent level. If it breaks that, and I think it's going to hit it this week, so that's a nice move, a couple percentage points to the upside on a scalp. But if above that, this can go much higher. I love the fundamental story, and look, you've got PPO closing above 0. It's got all signs pointing to a very nice move to the upside. Gold mining, with we're profiling here because of their uranium optionality play in the Athabasca. This is a beautiful chart right now, back tested beautifully off that initial breakout zone around 70. Now it moved towards that 90 cent zone. If it can break this bull flag, the next target is going to be 110. If it can break above that, then you're going to see tremendous upside. Obviously, it's got gold optionality, and this is one of our favorite plays in the gold sector as well. And management here is very closely aligned and tied to UEC, who we're going to cover soon. GWX Uranium, cup and handle consolidation, looks like it wants to break out, but it's having trouble breaking above the 50 RSI level. I think it's going to happen very soon. So if you haven't initiated any positions long, this could be a great opportunity for you to do so. Greenland Minerals, we pointed this out in the rare earth space. This was breaking out and finally took off. Now it's consolidating above the 200-week moving average, and if this can spend 1 or 2 more weeks around this area, that's going to be a sign that this is heading to 16 and possibly much higher. The fact that it closed above the 70 level, 69.70 level of RSI, is a very positive development. ISO Energy finally bounced just as we expected around that 40 level. Washed out some weekends here that had stop losses, and sure enough, boom, takes off. This is a very good long entry if you're not in, because it closed above the 50 RSI level, closed very nice hammer pattern. Momentum is moving back in the positive direction, and this has some good, very good fundamental properties. Laramide Resources, another one that's kind of consolidating here, but it's got a lot of noise, and it needs to break back above this particular downtrend. It broke below RSI downtrend, so it needs to break back above it, back above the 50 RSI for me to get interested. We do own a small position in this, but for me to add to our position, it needs to be in this zone, not here. Next Gen Energy, this one again is one of those names that once uranium does break out, it's going to have tremendous upside. I see this as trading in double digits sometime this year or next, and it's got a lot of potential. However, if uranium does turn lower, there's a lot of downside here with very little protection from a technical standpoint, so it can fall all the way to 105, possibly 70. I don't think that's going to happen, but you have to keep that in mind because we have broken below the 200-week moving average at 150 here, so until it breaks above that, I can't be comfortable holding this one long. Paladin Energy, this one's just consolidating. I think one of these days it's going to pop, but this is one of those that it's just kind of strange technical action here. Plateau Energy Metals, another one it's just very nice consolidation, and just looking at history here, it consolidates, breaks out, consolidates, breaks out, consolidates, breaks out. Eventually, I think you're going to have a very nice breakout, but it needs to show some positive signs, like what we saw here. We saw a double bottom, positive divergence. Here we kind of saw a V bottom, and so not the same sort of bottom, but a really nice rally, broke above the 38 level, tested 50, consolidated back a little bit, and then finally broke out above 50. This needs to break that 38 level in soon. 55 cents is a nice trigger to go long. PurePoint Uranium, another one that we're adding to our position here on this weakness. Obviously, the technicals have broken down, and so that's weak. But and then you've got the 50 and the 200-week moving average now above it. So I don't like that fact, but there's a lot of support here. And if it can break back above it, this can rally very nicely. They've announced a new drilling program, and they've got some great partners in the Athabasca region, so this can really take off if they get some nice drill holes. Sky Harbor Resources, another one that's consolidating back above its breakout, right below the 200-week moving average. I like the management team here, and it's so long as it's above this 38 level, I think this is eventually going to break out higher and then much higher down the road. Texas Minerals, obviously this has done tremendously well due to the rare earth speculation. Watch for this to potentially pull back, but closing the week at not all-time highs, but certainly multi-year highs suggests this is probably going to have another follow-through this week before pulling back. UEX Corp, beautiful breakout, bullish flag here, and it looks like it wants to break out here again. It's consolidating below the 50 RSI level. Once this breaks 18 level, I think this takes off and really fast, possibly to test the 200-week moving average at 26 and the 40-cent level thereafter. Your Energy, I like this. Look at this beautiful breakout off of the baseline, off from this bullish pennant, and now it wants to move higher. I think the next move is towards the dollar level, and then it's going to break higher thereafter. Couple more names here. Uranium Energy, UEC. This one's consolidating very nicely right above that RSI breakout level, and it's also in a very bullish price. It's got a bullish flag and a hammer. If this breaks this level, this can make a run towards 190. Again, this is one of those names that I think if that's Section 232 report comes out positive and uranium does move to the upside, as many of us expect it will, then this name's going to see double digits in the future. Finally, Western Uranium. It's been quiet and consolidating here, but I'm telling you, this is a 38 level, and this is a very, in my opinion, a bullish formation, kind of a cup and handle here. And if this breaks that 140 level, look out, because this can rally really strong here. So long as it holds this downward barrier, I think it's going to be fine, and this is a good place to initiate longs. Guys, thank you very much for watching. For those of you new to our videos, please have a look at what we do on Twitter, YouTube, and StockTwits, and check us out once our website is out sometime in July, Moniology.com. We're going to have a premium service that's going to cover these videos in great depth like this one and more, and we're opening this up to 100 initial subscribers. We've got about 45 slots left. If you're interested, shoot me a note at dave@moniology.com. Thanks again, and have a great week.